In the small village of Abakpa, nestled in the heart of Africa, there lived a beautiful chubby lady named Ola. Her beauty was undeniable, but her love for money was even more striking. Ola had a peculiar way of judging people, and her criterion was simple: wealth. If a man was rich, she would lavish attention on him, no matter his age or appearance. However, if a man was poor, she would frown and insult him, warning him to stay away from her. The villagers would often whisper about Ola's behavior, shaking their heads in dismay. The poor men in the village would try to approach her, but she would scoff at them, telling them they were beneath her. She loved the rich men, with their flashy cars and fat wallets. Ola would follow them around, taking gifts from them and meeting them in secret. Ola's grandmother, Nana, had raised her from a tender age. Nana's eyes would well up with tears whenever she thought about her daughter and son-in-law, who had died in a tragic accident on their farm. A big palm tree had fallen on them, leaving Ola without parents. Nana had taken on the responsibility of caring for her granddaughter, but Ola never listened to her wise words. Nana would often sit Ola down and advise her to change her ways. "Ola, my child, money is not everything," she would say. "A man's worth is not measured by his wealth, but by his character. You should look for someone who loves you for who you are, not just your beauty or your body." But Ola would laugh and ignore her grandmother's words. As time went on, Ola's behavior became more and more brazen. She would sneak around the village, meeting her rich lovers in bushes, huts, and questionable places. The villagers would whisper about her exploits, and Nana's heart would ache with worry. One of Ola's lovers was a wealthy old man named Chief Okoro. He was known for his ruthlessness and cunning, but Ola was blinded by his wealth. She would do anything to keep him happy, and he would lavish her with gifts and attention. But one fateful night, Chief Okoro's true nature revealed itself. He took Ola to an abandoned hut on the outskirts of the village and subjected her to unspeakable abuse. Ola was left battered and bruised, both physically and emotionally. The incident left Ola's life in shambles. She became withdrawn and isolated, unable to face the world. Nana's heart broke when she saw Ola's condition. She had warned her granddaughter about the dangers of her lifestyle, but Ola had refused to listen. Now, Nana's worst fears had come true. As Ola struggled to come to terms with what had happened, but with Nana's support and care, Ola slowly began to heal. Nana thought Ola had learned a lesson from her past experiences. She believed that the abuse she suffered at the hands of Chief Okoro would be a wake-up call for her granddaughter. But as Ola's physical injuries healed, Nana began to notice that her behavior hadn't changed. Ola continued to follow rich men, young and old, sick and healthy, as long as they had money to offer her. Nana's heart sank as she realized that Ola hadn't learned from her past mistakes. She tried to talk to Ola, to reason with her, but Ola just shrugged her off. "I'm fine, Nana," Ola would say. "I can take care of myself." But Nana knew that Ola wasn't fine. She was still trapped in a cycle of self-destruction, and Nana didn't know how to help her. One day, Ola met a young man named Tond. He was charming and handsome, and he had a lot of money. Ola was immediately drawn to him, and she began to spend all her time with him. At first, Tond seemed like a perfect catch. He showered Ola with gifts and attention, and she felt like a queen. But as time went on, Ola began to notice that Tond was very possessive and controlling. Nana tried to warn Ola, but she wouldn't listen. Ola was too caught up in the attention and affection Tond was showing her. She didn't see the warning signs, and she didn't realize that she was in danger. As the days went by, Ola's relationship with Tond became more and more toxic. He would belittle her and control her every move. Tond was a bad partner. He shouted at Ola and even hit her in public, but Ola stayed with him because of the money and gifts he gave her. She put up with the abuse. Some days, she came home with bruises and used hot water to ease the pain, but the next day, she would go back to Tond. Tond came from another town to work on the government secondary school project in Ola's community. He lied to Ola, saying he was single, but he was actually married. One day, Ton's wife, Laura, visited him unexpectedly. Ton was shocked but pretended to be happy and welcomed her with a smile. Inside, he was worried. He quickly texted Ola, telling her he wasn't around and she shouldn't visit him. He promised to call her when he returned. The next morning, Ton left for the construction site and told Laura to stay indoors. She agreed, but as soon as he left, she grabbed a raffia basket and went out. She asked the neighbors for directions to the market, saying she wanted to surprise her husband with a nice meal.